All right. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to Survive to Thrive. Today is Role Play Wednesday. Here's how this works. I'm going to start in the top left screen of my Hollywood Squares boxes here. Charlene, that's you today. You pick the conversation. We can focus on buyer conversion, lead generating for sell-by owners, expireds, converting conversations to appointments, converting appointments to signed agreements. Wherever you want to go with this, you lead the conversation. All right, let's go. Charlene, you are first up.
Okay. So let's start with okay, buyer's conversation and get past all the greetings and all of that and maybe start at um finding out what their needs are.
Yep.
So so John, what is mm, what is important to you about purchasing a home?
Okay, so my family's growing and we need more space. So we need to get out of this small house. My kids are sharing a bedroom, they're killing one another. So we need more space.
Great. And so what's important about needing more space is that your children are growing and I'm sorry.
Okay, no worries, Charlene. Let's get off role play here for a moment. Let's just have a coaching conversation,
Okay.
right? Okay, so are you asking me that question because it's the next question? Are you asking me that question because you're not sure where to go? Or are you asking me that because you couldn't hear me? Talk to me.
Okay. So I think because it was the next question. However, I believe you answered it
I
in your
did.
response to what you needed.
I did. So if you're playing by the playbook, the next question is, what does that look like to you? John, so I
Um,
get it. You're looking for more space, and that's important because you need a larger house. Kids need their own bedrooms. Tell me what that looks like to you. Okay, that's the next question, Charlene. So let's jump back into the role play, pick up from there.
so John, I understand you need more space for the children and tell me a little bit more. What does that look like to you?
Great question. So we need four bedrooms. I've got two kids. They each need their own bedroom. Plus, we need an office, and then of course my wife and I. So we've got to have four bedrooms.
Right. Got it. And what's okay, that's fine. Okay. So what is how soon did you need to move,
Okay, so
John?
how soon are you looking to make a move? That's another great question. We're not in a hurry, but like to be in the new house before the school year starts. So let's say by August.
Okay, so by August.
Yeah.
Got it. And are there any certain school districts that you're looking for or anything for your children?
Okay, so that's another great question. And I want to be in the, I have to stop and think for a moment. Where am I? So I want to be in the Palm Harbor School District. Palm Harbor University High School is a great school. I want to see my kids go there. So anywhere within that school district is good.
Great. So with the school year coming up real soon, John, y- it sounds like you may be thinking about moving real soon within the next
Okay,
month or
so let's
two.
pause. Let's pause for a moment. Charlene, you're good. Keep your head up.
Yeah,
Keep your head up. Okay. There's no failing here. It's progress. Okay.
right.
So it's a buyer consultation. The goal of the buyer consultation at this point in the conversation is to find out why am I moving? How soon do I want to move? And what am I looking for? If you write those three things down, please. Why am I moving? How soon do I want to move? And what does the ideal home look like to me? So the next question would be if you could choose 5 things that your new home has to have. These are deal killers if the home doesn't have them. What are those 5 things? Now, I already gave you one of them, so I would just repeat 4 bedrooms. And you would ask, why is that important to you? Now, I told you each of my kids need to have their own bedroom. My wife and I need a room, and I need an office. Now, there's a hidden trick in here. I don't know if
Mm.
anybody's picking up on it, by the way, but I put it out there if anybody does pick up on it. Now, the next then you would say, okay, I understand. What's the next thing that you've got to have? Have to have a pool. I won't buy a house without a pool. What's the question, guys, when I say have to have a pool? What's the next question in the playbook? This is for anybody. What's the next question?
Is that a deal breaker?
Yeah, Belly, it is. This is one of my 5 have-tos. It has to have a pool. I'll give you a hint. The question is,
What's important? What's important about having a pool?
that's a good question. Okay. There's 2 questions then because I wasn't thinking of that. I was thinking of another one, but that's important. Man, it's hot as heck here. I want to be able to come home, go outside, grab a beer and my little floaty and just float in the pool. By the way, that's real. And float in my pool and drink a beer. I also want my kids to be able to go out back and swim and not have to go to a neighbor's house to go swimming. So gotta have a pool, man. There's another question here, guys. Now, what is it? What's the question if I say I want a pool? It's the same question that I would say I want a large backyard. And why is that important to you? Cool, but there's another question here.
Well, John, I would ask, can it be a community pool or does it have to be
All right, here's the
a pool
question.
in your backyard? Okay.
That's a good guess, Clarissa. And it has to be a pool in my backyard because I ain't gonna walk to the community pool with my little floaty and a beer to go floating. So it is, tell me what that looks like. I know what a pool looks like to me, but tell me what the ideal pool looks like to you. It's a really good question, guys, because otherwise you're assuming. You're assuming you know what they want. You may be thinking a large pool so they can have family parties, and they just want something big enough to fall into at the end of the day and cool off. Or you may be thinking a standard pool, which in the state of Florida is like 15 by 24 is fine with them, and they want a large pool because they're going to have weekend parties and they're going to play volleyball and they're going to swim laps, so they want a big pool. And if you don't know this, you're looking at the wrong properties. So what does that look like to you? Tell me more.
Can we go back to the 4 bedrooms too?
You got it, Hilda. I was waiting for somebody to do this.
Um, do you actually need 4 bedrooms, or could you have a 3 bedroom and an office, or a 3 bedroom and a den?
Yes, yes, yes. That works. Now, if you don't ask that question and you start searching for homes for me, you're only going to search for homes that have 4 bedrooms, yes or yes. And there could be a 3 bedroom home out there that would absolutely be a perfect fit for me if it has an office or a den. And you could potentially lose a property that would be absolutely the right home for me. All right, Belly, I'm coming to you. Good work, Charlene.
Thank you.
We're getting there, girl. Progress. All right. Come on, Belly.
Let's continue that conversation. Maybe let's start again. Good morning, John. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you.
Fantastic. I see that you are interested in the area to purchase a property. Let me ask you a question. How soon do you need to be in this area?
You know, not real quick, but definitely by August.
Awesome. Let me ask you, are you buying these something with cash, or are you looking to use the finance on this property?
Okay, you missed a question. There's another question. Play the playbook. What's another question after definitely by August?
Definitely by August. Why is it important to be in August?
There you go. Because I have kids and I need to be in a new school district by August.
So it's important to you, the school district?
Yeah, it is.
Great. And how many bedrooms are you looking to purchase? I mean, on the property.
Oh, it's got to have 4 bedrooms.
Awesome. What is a must that you have to have on the property?
Say that one more time.
What is the most, what is the something that you have to have on the property? What is it like? Is something that is specific for you on the property?
What is the most important thing? Got
What's
it.
the most important thing?
Yeah. I'd say 4 bedrooms. If it doesn't have 4 bedrooms, I'm not buying it. It has to have 4 bedrooms.
Fantastic. Is anything else important for you on the property?
Yeah, it's definitely has to have a pool.
Awesome. Well, we live in Florida, so I get you. I understand you. Um, Now on this property that you're looking to buy,
Mhm.
do you need a two-car garage or are you okay with that?
2 cars, definitely. Got to have room for my toys.
Fantastic. Now it's gonna be you, your wife, and how many kids? I'm sorry, I know you mentioned to me the kids, but I don't know how many kids. I didn't pay attention to that
Nathan,
one.
you're the broker. How's that question?
Uh,
Let me hear that question again, Belly.
how many kids are you coming? I'm sorry, I don't recall that question. I know you answered me that. Sorry. Trying to figure out how many kids. I know you have 4 bedrooms, but I just want to know how many kids are you.
Yeah, I know. I just want to go to the broker and find out if we just broke any laws here.
I don't think so. No, I don't think so right now.
Okay.
You're doing good, Belly.
Okay.
Well,
Thank you.
one of the thing is if you have like kids that are different ages, and obviously it's gonna be specific for, like if you're gonna split them I mean, you're gonna share the room with them, or you're gonna be, you definitely need something for their own kids.
Belly, I'm cool with it. I just wanted to make sure that we're
We're not
following.
breaking any.
Yeah, I'm not breaking any laws here, right? Claudia, I'll come right to you, okay? I promise. So, Belly, I'd love for you to learn this according to the playbook. I think what you're doing is just fine. And I think there's another way to do this that might work better for you.
Got it.
Belly, if you could tell me 5 things that your new home has to have, what would those 5 things be? It's an open-ended question, and then let them start just filling in the blanks for you. That way you don't have to ask a question every time in reference to garage and all that other kind of stuff, because they're going to tell you. What are 5 things your new home has to have? Now, the next question after that is, what are 5 things that you would like to have? And we got a list of 10 things that they want in their new home. 5 are non-negotiable. They're deal killers if the house doesn't have those. We're going to go deep every time we hear an answer so we get more clarity, and so they get more clarity. And like Hilda did, so that we're able to help them see a 3 bedroom with an office would work just as well as 4 bedrooms.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So definitely go with a 5 has to have, and then after that would be the 5 would like to have on the
5
property.
things you would like to have. Correct. That is correct. So you're getting to know exactly what the perfect home looks like for them. Because our job as a buyer's agent is to find the right home at the right price and the right terms.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Nathan, you're up.
Hey, John. Hi. I want to ask you a question. Has anyone taken time to sit down with you and walk you through the process of buying in today's new market?
Great question. Write it down, write it down, write it down, everyone. No, what does that mean?
Yes. I'm curious. Have you heard of this like NAR settlement that's been going on in the real estate industry?
A little bit, but not really.
What have you heard about it, John?
Something about buyers paying the real estate agent, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Anything else? Have you been like around the kitchen table or around your friends, or maybe even at the golf course? I know you golf. Have any of your buddies spoke to you about what they felt, what's going on in the industry?
Not really.
Yeah. Well, thank you for just letting me know. I would like to share as a real estate professional. I like to share with you, the real tea leaves about what's going on in that. Is that okay?
That was good. Keep going.
John, right now, in the I'm just going to speak as it's like current right now in terms of like what's coming up in August. I'm just going to speak from that platform. John, right now, we are going to look at properties, and there's a possibility that some properties, or we're going to look at some properties, and you know what? There's going to be no commission that's going to be stated on the MLS.
Mm-hmm.
And now I want to let you know, what does that mean for you? Basically, what that means is that we don't know if the seller is willing to pay for a commission for a professional like me representing you to bring a qualifying buyer. Okay. And so what we need to do is we need to find out on the properties that you identify, which properties are going to be the best fit for you. And actually, I'm just kind of winging right now, John, because I got to get that part kind of down a little bit more. But I started studying the intro that I started with you earlier. That's my new script that I kind of wrote down recently.
Got it. Yeah, I was 100% listening with just curiosity, not as a coach,
Okay.
because I was curious to see where is this going.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't sure either. Okay.
How did it sound though? From a coach, can you coach me on that now?
I wouldn't start talking about how you're being paid so early in the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I would save that for later. I would focus on them and how this impacts them. I would focus on that more in the beginning than whether or not you're being paid.
Okay. What about the part when I was saying, has anyone walked you through the process and what have you heard about the
Okay,
North Side? How's that?
simplify that. So where I would make some changes is I would simply ask a question. Tell me what you know about the NAR settlement.
Okay.
Now, if their answer is not a whole lot, I wouldn't go deeper. All right. It felt like you were winging that part with anybody at the golf course, anybody at the gym.
Mm-hmm.
I would just go with whatever the answer. I would go right to, well, let's have a conversation about that because my goal is blank.
Okay.
But I love the question. Joanne, I think Joanne has something to offer on this, Nathan.
Yes, Joanne.
I haven't forgotten about you, I promise. I'm coming to you. Joanne.
I think that was great, Nathan, and I wanted to add to it.
Yes.
And so if I'm adding to it, the part of the conversation, I'm identifying that you have shared so much with me about what's important to you about your move. I feel like we've had a thorough conversation about what the right home looks like for you and that time frame. Do you feel like I've asked you enough questions? Is there any other questions that you have or that details you would like to share with me about your expectations before we talk about the process or the next step?
Mm-hmm.
So you say, no, I feel good. Well, great. So if we're talking about our next step is for you to, or for me to share, sorry, I lost a little bit in my intro there. So I'm just identifying that we had that great conversation. I really feel like I know what your search is. So the next step for us, John, is to review the buyer contract. And the importance about that is that now that I know what your needs are and we know how we're going to work together, this allows me to commit to you. And we'll go through it quickly, but I want you to understand that this is about me. This isn't only about you committing to work or committing to work with me or committing to hire me. I had it in my head earlier. It was Sorry, I'm botching this.
Joanne, let me butt in here for a moment, okay? You're doing really well. All right. I'm paying really close attention. All of you are doing really well, by the way. This is, guys, watch this recording because I want you to pick the parts that you really like, add it to your tool belt in order to create the best buyer presentation you can. So it's an exclusive buyer agency agreement. It's not a contract, and it's an agreement that outlines my responsibilities as your agent, what I'm obligated to provide you as your buyer's agent. And it's also an agreement that you're making a commitment to work with me as your agent to purchase a home. Now, my transition to compensation would be the last thing I want to chat with you about today is let's talk about how real estate agents get paid. And the old model, blah, 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 blah. In the new model, here's how it works. Just for time, guys, I'm going to go right to Claudia because I want to make sure we get everybody in here and we are up against the clock here. Claudia, you had your hand up. If you want to please start with sharing what you were going to share.
No, it's fine. I just you were telling Belly, that there's some things that we can for us, especially, I don't know, for me as not being my first language and still having a really strong accent, and besides, I'm servicing North Carolina, but I used to leave. I mean, it's been probably 8 years since I have been here. I'm not like a born and raised in North Carolina. I used to be in the West Coast. So all of that adds up with people who wants to do a relocation. I have an appointment last Friday. We have a Zoom. Actually, it was Thursday. And I wasn't prepared enough. I mean, because for me, it was more always referral and people comes and we sit down, do good conversations, very nice and everything. But with these young kids, well, kids, right? 20, almost 28, something like that. I went out of the scripting. I went out, I was more open and, and at the end, I didn't get it. So I got deflated with that because I said, what happened? If I'm a buyer's agent most of the time, what's going on here? But I understood that now more than ever, it's to use the right wording, maybe not talk too much, but the right questions so they can feel it, that you're really focusing on what they really need. Right. So obviously, I felt bad. But that means that I have a lot to learn and not just feel confident because I just did that. It's improving and it's continuously learning new ways to make it happen.
Okay. Progress. You're making progress, Claudia. Awesome job. Neil, let's go to you. You're on mute, by the way.
Yeah. Okay. So going back to, are we continuing to role play or are we just doing?
Yeah, it's role play. It's
okay.
Role play. And you pick the conversation, buddy.
Okay. So John, thank you again for taking the time to meet with me. I was just curious, what are five major things that you would need to have in this new property that you're looking to call home?
All right. Well done, Neil. It's got to have 4 bedrooms.
4 bedrooms. That's great. And do you mind me asking why 4 bedrooms?
Yeah, simply what would that do for you? And I've got 2 kids, blah, 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 plus an office.
Okay, that's amazing. And so is it okay if I say that we could possibly also look at 3 bedrooms with a den?
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Great idea.
Okay, great. And just making a note here of that. And what else about the new home are you looking forward to? What is a must-have for you and the kids?
Gotta have a pool.
Gotta have a pool. Yeah, I agree. It's kind of hot here in Florida. So do you mind me asking, does the pool need to be screened in? Does it need to be open air? Like what type of family activities would you guys be having around the pool?
All right. Well done, Neil. Again, for time's sake, guys, I apologize for allowing it to go longer than 9:30 here, guys. Clarissa, talk to me.
Okay, so I'm gonna skip that part at the kitchen table, and I kind of want to go where along where everybody has gone. So, but kind of do it a little differently.
Okay.
So, John, awesome. Let's get started about talking about your goals, because
Mhm.
remember, my mission is to achieve your goals and meet your expectations. And in order for me to do that, I need to ask you a few questions. First, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being not so good and with 10 being awesome, what one thing needs to happen as we go through this process of purchasing a home for you so that you feel like your experience is a 10?
All right. I'm going to stop right there. Clarissa, that was perfect. That was perfect. It really was. I was going to say bye to Belly, but he already jumped. That was perfect. Everybody write that down.
That was good. That was really good.
It was absolutely. And if you've been practicing your listing presentation, it's the same conversation. So
Right.
very well done. Very well done. Hilda, you're up.
Hi. All right. I want to go back to the conversation after we've already figured out what the client wants. John, how would you be paying cash, or are you going to be looking at financing?
Yeah, financing.
Okay. Have you talked to a lender? Do you know what that looks like? Do you know more or less what you would qualify for?
Just the guys at the bank.
Okay. What do you want your monthly payment to be? What do you need your monthly payment to be?
A good question. I have no idea. Let's go with $3,600 a month.
Okay, John. Well, that's a good price. I think our next step would be to get you in touch with a lender. That way we can have a clear picture of what your price range would be, and what the bank is going to approve you for. That way we're not looking at homes that maybe you don't qualify for. I don't want you to fall in love with a home that later on you won't be able to qualify for. How does that sound?
Okay.
Do you
Yeah.
have someone that you've spoken to, or would you like me to refer you to one of our referral partners?
Okay. So Hilda, what I would do at this point is, and you're the expert here, and you're doing great, is I would give them, I would just tell them I have an amazing loan officer that I would like to connect you with. Even if you don't use them, I think it would be a great idea for you to chat with them. Is it okay if I give them your contact information and have them give you a call? I want to make that connection, Hilda. I want to do everything I can to keep them away from Rocket Mortgage or some bank that's 2,000 miles away that doesn't really care if the home sells or not. I want to get them speaking to a local loan officer.
Got it.
Neil, if you can send me an email, my friend, coachjohndietz@gmail.com, and just in the email, because that way I can reply to you and send you the playbook, okay? Send you a copy of that playbook. All right, everybody, great work today. Again, my apologies for going over time.